So we already did the problem about BMI computation. So we already have the solution for compute BMI 01. And yeah, we already did also the compute BMI 02. Let's see the details, because last time we have not seen the details of this code, especially this one. I think you know how to convert the measurement from pound to kilogram. So we have the table, so you can just multiply the pound, which is 150. 150 has been assigned to one variable weight. So you can just call the variable weight and then multiply with one number. So this is the number for the conversion. And if I want to calculate the height in meters, I have this conversion. And I would like to calculate the BMI, and this is the formula. The remaining is only the output. And you can see here, the weight is casted. If you still remember, we are doing the casting. Okay, we are casting the numbers because they have different data type. Here the weight in kilos is in double. And let's suppose I want to print it into integer value. So I can do casting for the double data type into the integer data type. BMI, we can just display the result. But as you might know, the result in the double value has many numbers after the comma. It is difficult to interpret. Sometimes we want to limit the number of decimals only 2. Now, how we can do this limitation? So I give this kind of formula. What does it mean? The BMI will be multiplied by 100. The current BMI is this one. 10.461224445 and something. Okay. If we multiply with 100, then it will be 1046.122445 and so on. Okay. And after we have this number, I would like to make it as I want to calculate this first. After we do the calculation, I want to make it as integer. Then what is the result? The result is 1046. Is it right? The number after the multiplication will be an integer. After we have the integer, I would like to divide the number with 100.0. If I divide with 100.0, then the result will be only 2 numbers. That's why we want to make this number into double to make it into only 2 decimals. Okay. So I hope that you can understand this one. There will be one problem in the assignment about this one. So please try to understand this one to solve the problem in your assignment. That's about the compute PMI 02. We learned many things in this section. The things that you learn here is about comments and then the mathematical operators and variables. So in particular, this section explains how the statements run in a sequential order. So you already learned that the code runs from top to bottom and then left to the right. Okay. Yeah, this is just for your practice. Okay, this is not assignment, but just practice. Write a program to convert a number or a distance which is in feet into meter. So 1 feet equals to 0.3048 meter. And the output is suggested to be integer. Let's suppose the input is any number in variable, let's say 10, and the output will be an integer in meter, which is 3. So how can we make the code? Okay, let's try. I will make a new class. Let's make it question 0201. Okay. And then I will make it with the public static void min. So I have one input, and the input, if you see from this example, set the input as any number in variable. For example, 10. So 10 is, yeah, in this example, 10 is an integer. Then let's make one integer variable. Integer, let's say number. And then I want to make it equals to 10. This is the input. Now I need to convert the number, which is feet, into meter. What I need to do is to check 1 feet equals to 0.3048 meter. And the output is suggested to be integer. I can type system.out.println. Output is integer. If I want to make number multiply by 0.3048, if I run this, the result will be 3.048. If I want to make it as integer, then I can do casting. Then the result is 3. Okay. What you need to do in your assignment, or yeah, if I give also the problems in the exam, yeah, please do according to the input and the output. Here I give you the example. The output, yeah, in meter equals to 3. Yeah, it's, you can just put this one in meter equals to 3. Okay. Question number 2, what is the output? Yeah, if you want to try, yeah, let me just delete this part. Let me just try. Double A equals to 25.64. And then I have integer B equals 25. Just select this one. Okay. I want to know what is the answer from you if we don't use Java. If we don't use Eclipse, what will be the answer? A modulus 10. Can you figure out? B modulus 10. Okay, so if you don't have any idea, you can try. B. I will print A, and let's say I will print B. So you can try to run. The result will be the remaining value from a double. This is 5.64 and so on for the variable A. And for the variable B, we will get only integer value because it is the remainder. Okay, that's about the sequential. I hope that you understand all the sequential section. And now let's move to the the next PowerPoint, which is about input and conditional. So I uploaded this file into the e-class, so please check. We are going to discuss about input, how to define the user input, and then we are going to learn some conditional statement, and then we are going to learn about the conditional alternatives. Input, how to get user input. Any program requires input. If you are attending, if you go to ATM machine, you need to input your card. If you want to start your car, you need to input your key. Okay? So in a program, it's also the same. When you want to calculate something, you need to give input. And the input can be retrieved from users. Let's say I click, okay, I hover like this one, then there is an input in the monitor. Or you can insert value. So if you input 5, then the value for the calculation will be starting from 5. And the other ways, such as automatic device like sensors. Assume that users require to input a value to run a program. Whenever you are going to run your program, like what we did before, I want to convert one value from feet into meter. So I give an input, which is 10. If you need to provide an input, so the program needs to provide a way so that a user can input the value. Let's see one example. Now I'm creating a new section. Okay, let me create a new section here. I will create a new package, section 3. As you know, packets mean folder or directory. I'm going to create a new directory, and the directory name is section 03. And in the section 03, I'm going to create one new file, compute area. Now I'm going to make a new class file. I'm going to create a new class file. And I will make compute area 04 because we have the circle area 01, 02, 03. Now I have the compute area 04. And do not forget to click this one to make one method, which is the main method. You have this class, and okay, let me, oh, it's not possible to copy and paste. And let me just type this one. The first, I think you already know the final. Final means constant. You cannot change the value. You cannot change the variable. I have the pi, which is the 3.14159. And then I have the scanner. Okay, I will explain to you later. Scanner, I have the console as new scanner and system.in. So let me stop here. Let me wait for some seconds. I think you need to type this one. You can see there is an error line. Okay, this red line means error. And if you check this error, you need to import scanner java.util, and yeah, there are some other recommendation. For this scanner, actually we are using another class, and you need to import that class to your Java file. So you click this one, import scanner java.util. So when you click it, you will see there is a new line here, and the errors disappear. So the error will be solved. Why this one has an error before? Because we have not get the scanner class. For doing with this scanner, we need to get the class scanner from other related files. In this case, we want to get from java.util. Util means utility. Now, let's move on to the next one. I would like to get the input by giving input radius. Let's say I just give in meter. I want to ask the user to input a value. And then after I give one statement input radius in meter, I will prepare a variable radius, and I will use what I defined before, which is the console here, and I will call the method, which is next int. I will explain to you what does it mean by this next int. Okay, so I'm giving you these two new lines, these three lines actually. I will explain after I finish with all the codes. The remaining code will be the same with the previous one. You can have the double area equals to the radius multiplied by the radius multiply the pi, and then I have the system.auto print line. I would like to print the area, which is the area, and I would like to give more information like the meter square. Okay, so I guess you still remember the final, it means constant. We have the new line here, scanner, and we have this new line as well, print and the radius with the console.next int. The remaining are the same. So let me run. In this case, input radius in meter. As a user, you need to give a value. Let's say I give a value 6. So you can input any values that you want. And when you press enter, then you will get the result. The area is 113.09724. If you run again, the program wait for your input. If I give another input with different number 10, then it will give you the output as the area according to your input. If I again start this program, let's say I give 25 as the radius. If I press enter, then there will be an output. So the input is based on the user. You don't need to specify like what you did on the previous example. In this example, you always define a number, and then whenever you change this one, you need to change this value. In order to make it easier, you can define by this console. When you run this code, you will see the input radius I cannot see the strange. I cannot see the panel. Okay, so you can see in the below part here, there is a what we call as prompt or text statement, input radius in meter. And when you have this text, the computer is waiting for you. The computer is waiting for the user to insert any value. And when you type 5, for example, it will continue to the next. It will continue to the next line and it will calculate the area. So the scanner is an object that can read input from many sources. For today, we are just using keyboard. Actually, if you want to use another kind of input like devices, you can also use the class scanner. There is one way to communicate with the scanner. We can use system.in. That's why you can see here system.in. We can also read from files. We can read from website. We can read from database. And the scanner class is found in the java.utility package. You just make it short, util. That's why whenever you use the scanner, you need to import java.util.star. Star means you want to use all the classes. Not only scanner, but there will be a lot of classes. Let me show you. So if it is only dot, you can see there are many classes: scanner, abstract collection, abstract list, abstract map, abstract queue, and so on. Okay. So if you press start, it means your program will use all the classes, not only the scanner, but it will use all these classes. So you can just use the star to call all the classes, or if you want to use a very specific class, yeah, you can also use the class name. So it's the same. If it is star, then you use all the classes. When you are constructing a scanner object, you need to define what is the name. In our example, we have console. So console, anything. You can write the console here. If you change this one into input, then this should follow the definition in this object. And this one should change to input. If you want to say the scanner, not the console, but maybe name, then here should have also the same, which is name. Maybe I want to say object obj here, and this one also should be obj. So depending on about your definition in this scanner. If it is console, then yeah, you can just use console to determine the input. And do not forget to put the system.in. It is to get the input from the user. There are some methods that you need to know. Next int, next double, next, and next line. Next int is to read integer value. Next double is to read double value. Next, it will read one word string from users. Next line, it will read one line string from the users. For example, how old are you? This is what we call as prompt. It is to indicate what you need to input. If I know that, okay, they are asking me about the age, then you can specify the data will be integer. And if the data is integer, then you will define the variable as integer. After you have the value, then you can print or you can display the value. Here we have a prompt. A prompt is a message telling the user what input to type. Let's say this one, how old are you? Then you need to input your age. If the previous example, we have input radius in meter, then the users know I need to give input any number which is in meter. Okay, let's see this example. It's input example. Okay, let me create a new class. It's input example. Then I will create the main method. Let me copy and paste. I guess it's working. Okay, let me copy and paste. And there is one error. What is this error? It is the scanner error. As you might know that this class should have the import function. So just go to this line, and then when your mouse is in this error line, there will be a recommendation. So you can just click, and then it will give you automatically the statement to solve the error. Okay. Let's see, if I run, there will be a question, how old are you? Let's say my age is 25. The program will give you an answer. How long you will need to wait until your retirement. Let's assume that the age of retirement is 65. My age is 25. So 65 minus 25, it will be 40, and 40 will be printed here. 40 years until the retirement. Okay, so this is the process. And here we are going to get the input from the user. So you want to get integer value. That's why we have next int. Okay. Let's see another example. I want to multiply. I want to multiply two numbers. Let me make a new example file. I make scanner multiply, and I make the main method. Let me copy and paste. Again, we have the error. And to solve this error, you can just go to this error line and then import the java.util. When you import this function, then the error solved. Now let's take a look on this Java code. We have the input, two numbers. Here we are creating a prompt. Please type two numbers. The number 1 is an integer and number 2 is also an integer. And I want to multiply those two numbers. Number 1 multiplied by number 2. And the output will be the product. So product is the multiplication. Now I can run. Please type two numbers. Let's say I have 5 and then enter, and then I press 6 and then enter. So I have the result is 30. Okay. There is another way. You can run and press the number 5, and then you can put a space, and let's say you want to input 6, and then you can press enter. The result will be also 30. So Java can understand if you input a space, it means there will be another kind of input. Because the first input is integer, the next input is also integer. So the space is not integer. So scanner can read multiple values from one line. And the other thing is about the string. In Java, we need to understand what is token. The token is a unit of user input as read by the scanner. Tokens are separated by white space or tabs or new lines. That's what we call as white space. So for example here, how many tokens appear on the following line of input? So here is 1 because we have space. And then 2, we have space. 3, and then we have space. 4, and then we have space. 5, we have space. 6, we have space. 7, we have space. 8, we have space. And 9. Okay, so total we have 9 tokens. So when a token is not the type you ask for, it will crash. For example, what is your age? We know that the input should be integer, but your input is string, and it will be error. For example, this one. How old are you? I input half, then it will be errors. Because you already give next int. Next int will be integer, not string. That's why it will be errors. Okay, I guess I need to stop here. Any questions? And yeah, thank you very much for attending the course. See you on Tuesday. Please don't forget to do your assignment. Okay? Yeah, have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.